In this animation, we will explain the workings of the human immune system using unique images that you have not seen before. We will explore how macrophages and other cells and mechanisms protect our body from threats every day. Our skin, like the bark of a tree, serves as an important defense. However, the skin is also home to many microorganisms. These microbes receive nourishment and protection from an oily substance called sebum, secreted by sebaceous glands. Sebum contains antimicrobial substances capable of destroying harmful microbes or controlling their excessive growth on the skin. It is designed to maintain a balance where these microbes perish, creating a harmonious coexistence between skin cells and microorganisms, a form of symbiosis. The protective lining of hollow organs, such as the nose, mouth, and trachea, consists of mucous membranes. These mucous membranes contain cilia that move in a wave-like rhythm. If the mucociliary clearance process is insufficient, the body attempts to expel unwanted particles through coughing. To achieve this, an inhalation occurs, followed by a sharp exhalation to remove foreign substances from the lungs and trachea. The bone marrow is home to many immune cells, also known as leukocytes. Stem cells divide into daughter cells, either symmetrically or asymmetrically. Symmetrical division results in two identical cells, while asymmetric division produces both a stem cell and a progenitor cell. These cells continue to divide, forming numerous immune cells that become leukocytes, ready to defend the body. One type of immune cell is the neutrophil. Some neutrophils remain in the bone marrow, while others enter the bloodstream. Neutrophils belong to the innate immune system and travel through blood vessels during inflammation. Endothelial cells of blood vessels have special receptors that facilitate neutrophil migration. Initially, neutrophils weakly adhere to the vessel wall, then firmly attach and pass through the endothelium, a process known as diapedesis. Once in connective tissue, neutrophils follow signaling molecules produced by other cells in a process called chemotaxis. Neutrophils detect bacteria and engulf them in a process called phagocytosis. Additionally, they produce cytokines that attract other immune cells, including macrophages. Macrophages arrive first, engulf bacteria, and release tumor necrosis factor, which suppresses appetite, induces fever, and stimulates leukocyte production. The next type of cells are T cells. T cells have receptors that allow them to recognize specific antigens presented by macrophages. During their development in the thymus, T cells specialize in recognizing particular antigens presented on macrophage surfaces. Once matured, T cells migrate to lymph nodes or the spleen, where they encounter dendritic cells that have already interacted with a pathogen. Dendritic cells present antigens on their surface, and T cells scan these cells using their receptors to identify pathogens. If a T cell recognizes an antigen, it becomes activated and begins to divide, producing numerous daughter cells to combat the pathogen. Some T cells travel to other tissues in the body to seek and destroy infected cells. When a T cell finds an infected cell, it induces apoptosis or programmed cell death. Debris from destroyed cells is then engulfed by macrophages, which clean up the waste. In addition to cytotoxic T cells, there are other types such as T helper cells, memory T cells, and regulatory T cells. T helper cells work together with B cells. B cells also have receptors and seek their specific antigen. Like T cells, B cells are formed in the bone marrow. Afterward, they search for antigens in the blood or lymphatic system. When a B cell finds its antigen, it activates and its receptors start functioning. When a T helper cell gives a signal, the B cell begins dividing, producing thousands of new cells ready to fight the pathogen. Additionally, B cells create memory B cells, which will protect the body in case of reinfection. During an acute infection, plasmablasts begin producing antibodies, which are then released into the bloodstream. Antibodies bind to toxins or antigens, neutralizing them or marking them for easier phagocytosis by macrophages. All immune cells originate from stem cells, which develop into various immune cells to protect the body. Other important immune system cells include natural killer cells and platelets, which also play key roles in defense. Platelets, or blood platelets, are formed in the bone marrow and aid in wound healing by forming blood clots. The process of thrombocytopoiesis occurs when megakaryocytes extend their pseudopodia into blood vessels. Platelets attach to collagen fibers and form a platelet plug that prevents bleeding. Soon, fibrin fibers form on the platelets, strengthening the clot and binding more platelets and red blood cells together. In just 5 minutes, you learned how our immune system works at the cellular level. Subscribe to the channel and follow the following videos, and you will fully understand your body and know how to take care of your health.